Okay, welcome to the Bhavana. You all are warmly welcome again on behalf of residents, monks, as well as all other residents in Bhavana. So, we're ready to start our Metta retreat, the first one in this year 2023. Metta is one of the very important practice that we should develop to live in 21st century. It is very hard to live without Metta in this world. That's why we started with Metta. To make comfortable environment, to have peaceful society as well as peaceful mind. When we develop peaceful mind, then we can create peaceful society. Mind is the leader, mind is the forerunner. So that is our motto. So we start with Metta during this, basically we can say 3 days or 2.5 days. We can focus on Metta as well as we have opportunity to discuss some discourses delivered by the Buddha about Metta, benefits, as well as if there is some issues with your practice, we have opportunity, we can discuss about all the matters that you have, and we can get a clear idea about Metta. That is the main purpose of this retreat. I hope most of you have some kind of experience, and some of might be very few of them not have much experience, but using this opportunity, you can gain your experience as well as knowledge. So traditionally, Metta retreat, when we categorize the meditation, Bhavana, we put into Samatha meditation technique. Metta is under Samatha, or we call it circle meditation. But when we're going into deeper level, Metta is a result of all the practice, even the Vipassana. But there's a very clear message. Practicing just Metta, no one is able to attain enlightenment. That message is there. But when you attain enlightenment, you can see Metta. Therefore, Metta is one of perfections among the 10 perfections. As you know, if someone willing to attain Arhathood, which we call Rahat, enlightenment, just enlightenment, and Pacceka Buddha, there's an English translation for Pacceka Buddha, private. I don't know what is that, public Buddha and private Buddha, difference, but it's up to you. Private Buddha, because I think they put that name. Who attained Pacceka Buddha? He does not have any results. That is the only difference. But enlightenment is not difference. And the biggest one we call Samma Sambuddha. So Lord Buddha. Any of these stages that you are willing to attain, you have to fulfill 10 perfections. According to the Sutta explanation or Pali Canon explanation, there are six paramitas. But traditionally, in Buddhist literature, it says there are 10 perfections, 10 paramitas. Basically. But if someone willing to attain Pacceka Buddha, they have to fulfill 20 parami as well as upapana. If someone willing to attain Buddha, they have to fulfill 30 paramis. Parami, Upaparami, as well as Paramattha. So, all these paramis, Parami, Upaparami, as well as Paramattha Parami, there is Metta. Dana, Danancha, Silancha, Nekkama. This is the list of parami, perfections. Among those 10, Metta is one. It means if someone willing to attain enlightenment, they have to fulfill Metta. They have to develop their Metta. They have to increase their Metta. Metta not going alone. Metta always going with compassion, sympathetic joy, as well as equanimity. If someone talking about Metta, Metta means, we call another word, Pali, Sattara Brahma Vihara. Generally, people use Brahma Vihara. So, even though we say this is Metta retreat means not just developing loving friendliness thoughts. You are developing loving friendliness thoughts, compassion, sympathy, joy, as well as equanimity. All these 4 qualities are together. So, if someone willing to attain any kind of emancipation, becoming Arahant, becoming a Pachena Buddha, or becoming a Lord Buddha, it doesn't matter. We have to develop our Metta. Or generally we can call, we have to develop Brahma Vihara. Not only that, in grassroots level, if you are talking about human beings, you can't talk about human qualities without these 4 qualities. Is there any quality that you can find as human quality without these 4 qualities? Metta, or loving friendliness, compassion, sympathetic joy, equanimity. Without these qualities, anyone can find any human qualities? No. If we are talking about the human beings, so then we have to talk about human qualities. These are the human qualities. These are the human qualities according to the Buddhist explanation. So therefore, as we know, we recognize as ourselves, about ourselves, we recognize ourselves as human beings. So then we have obligation. We have obligation and duty, responsibility to increase our human quality. To increase our human quality. That is the main purpose of our life, in this very life. Forget about enlightenment. Now we have thoughts, we are aware, we are human beings. So then, as human being, my responsibility, my duty, I have to increase my human quality without developing my human qualities, humanity. But I should give myself nothing. Therefore, Metta is one of basic things that we should develop ourselves. Metta is one of basic. No one can talk about human beings without talking any of these qualities. That's why at the beginning I mentioned, in this society, we as human beings, not just human beings, as living beings, our duty, our responsibility is to develop these qualities. Think about yourself. We go to school at the beginning of our life. Why we go to school? Most of us already finished that part, therefore. Why we went to school? What was the purpose? To be happy. Don't you? Because of parents' influence, you might went to schools and do the classes. But generally, you went to school to be happy yourself and to make your parents happy. Happiness. And then graduating from high school, some of perhaps went to universities or colleges for what? To be happy. Basically, we can understand we want to go to college for what? To get a certificate. For what? To be a qualified person. For what? Earn money. Why? To fulfill my basic needs. To fulfill my basic. Why? If you are lack of your basic needs, you are not happy. You are unhappy. At the end, now we can see we go to college to be happy, and we want to find a job for what? To be happy, and we ask in promotion in our job for what? To be happy. Not only that, we want to marry for what? To be happy. After marriage, no one asking whether you are happy or not now. But before, you want to marry for what? To be happy. And you want to make children for what? To be happy. It means all the purposes, all ambitions that we have, we are maintaining, all the ambitions focusing on one thing. Whether you are Buddhist, Hindu, Christian, Muslim, it does not matter. You are living in US, UK, Canada, it doesn't matter. All the human beings maintaining one goal. What is that? To be happy. So, when you are developing your happiness, as a result of that happiness, your metta is developing. Your compassion is developing. Your sympathetic joy and equanimity is developing. When you are developing your loving kindness or metta, your happiness is also increasing. When you start to develop your compassion, your happiness is increasing. When you start to develop your sympathetic joy, your happiness is increasing. We don't want to go to school to be happy. Just developing these four significant qualities, we can increase our happiness. Therefore, whatever the degrees we are holding, it doesn't matter. If we are not developing these four qualities with us, there is no way to be happy. There's no way to be happy. What kind of jobs you're doing, it doesn't matter. Personal law, whatever, also, it doesn't matter. If you don't have these four qualities, you can't be happy. Even you are the president of the United States, you can't be happy. Definitely, the president doesn't have happiness. It is something else. But anyway, whatever powerful job you have, if you don't have these four qualities, you don't have happiness. Therefore, in our life, main purpose to be happy, then we have to develop that happiness. How? Through our activities, through our mind. Through our mind. Because mind is the leader. Mind is the forerunner. We do everything under the influence of our mind. Under the influence of our mind. Happiness is a thought which occur in your mind. Happiness is not something else, something extra additionally. It is a thought. So therefore, we are working for our happiness. Even though you are here as a meditator, to meditate here, but you are dealing with your mind. You are paying attention to increase your happiness. We everybody need to be happy. That is our main purpose of our life. So having that goal, we all are here So we all have same purpose, same goal. Therefore, we may not have any conflict during these few days, but basically 3 days, because we all have the same goal. So, therefore, I would like to give some words without disturbing others. Be mindful always about your purpose. Be mindful not to disturb others, practicing your noble silence. And use this opportunity as much as you can to increase your knowledge as well as practice. Knowledge is not enough if it is not able to apply, because knowledge are everywhere. You don't want to come to get knowledge here in this kind of rural area. Here, just we have basic things. Knowledge, full of knowledge when you just start to Google. Google is very nice. He will help you find everything in this world. Therefore, to get some guidance about meditation, millions teachers should be there. You don't want to come here. But you are here purposely, not just to increase your knowledge, to increase your practice, to apply that knowledge. Therefore, these 2-3 days are the days that you're going to use to apply. What are you going to apply? You're going to apply Metta. To whom? To yourself. You're going to apply compassion. To whom? Yourself. You're going to apply sympathetic joy. To whom? Yourself. You're going to apply equanimity. To whom? Yourself. Person who came a while ago, that person not would be leaving from the center after these 3 days. As you know, everything is impermanent, therefore, definitely, different person will be leave from here, but that is not the meaning. You have to have different thoughts. Measure yourself about your anger. Measure yourself about your jealousy. Measure yourself about your unwholesome thoughts when you are living, whether you are able to decrease or increase. Mainly purposely give attention to look at your mind. Looking at your mind, you can measure yourself. How about my anger? How about my other unwholesome thoughts? Greed, hatred, all these thoughts, and measure it yourself. Now my tolerance rate is getting high. You can see. Then you can see the results through your behavior. When you go back to your place where you are living, if your partner can recognize some changes of your behavior, then you can be happy. The retreat was successful. Otherwise, same role is starting again after 3 days. If they are not able to see any changes of your behavior or thinking pattern, yes, you spend 3 days out of your place. You don't have any useful things. You can't be happy because same person. Therefore, don't try to change that place. Try to change your mind. Try to change your mind. You are here to change your mind. Now you can focus on yourself. How about your anger? How about your Ignorance. Ignorance means I don't hold a degree, I don't graduate from high school. That is not the meaning of ignorance. Ignorance means thinking of it. Look at your mind. You can, whether you ever recognize your thoughts or not. And going into deeper level, whether you can recognize whether it is useful or harmful. That is the meaning of ignorance and vice. So we are here to deal with our mind. To deal with our mind. To deal with our mind purposely, we have to stop taking objects through our ear, nose, tongue, eyes, and mind as well as body. That's why we are asking to be quiet. We are asking to observe noble silence. Noble silence, that the real meaning of noble silence means at the end you might be able to stop even the thoughts, unwholesome thoughts. That is the real meaning of noble silence. But it is not that we can see through the mundane thing. Noble silence, really you can see through the enlightened beings. But we use that word noble silence. Try to focus in and try to develop your effort and energy to see your mind and recognize the thoughts, what kind of thoughts are arising there in your mind. And develop your energy to control that unwholesome thoughts. The Buddha in Ambalattika Rahulavada Sutta gave us a wonderful formula about to see wholesomeness and unwholesomeness. Let's think about whether it is harmful to you, whether it is harmful to you or not, and harmful to both you and others, harmful to just others, as well as think about whether it is useful or not you, useful to others, useful to you and others. Then, if it is a useful situation, then you accept as a wholesome. If it is harmful, you recognize it as a harmful, unwholesome. So, if we able to develop our mind just to see these things, wholesomeness and unwholesomeness, that is enough, at least in our first stage. In Vitakka Santana Sutta, there is a sutta given by the Buddha, advising us, seeing your unwholesome thoughts, pay attention to control that unwholesome thoughts. So then, first thing, you have to recognize your thoughts. Among these millions of thoughts, how you can recognize these thoughts? What are the roots? There are only 3 roots. What are the roots? Hatred, desire, ignorance. These are the 3 roots for all unwholesome thoughts. Then what are the wholesome? Which against these unwholesomeness. Instead of desire, if you can develop your generousness, then there are some other opportunity to increase your thoughts against your desire. Instead of anger or hatred, if we have metta, loving kindness, compassion, and all other qualities with you, then you are going against your unwholesome roots. Millions of thoughts that you can develop. Instead of ignorance, if you can develop wisdom step by step, then you can develop millions of thoughts which is going against your ignorance. As I mentioned, wisdom means thinking ability. The thinking ability to think deeply, widely, and quickly for what? To recognize your thoughts and the roots of them. So these are main purpose of all human beings' life. It's unique for human beings, particularly because they are the beings who can think about themselves. They are the beings who can recognize their thoughts. Generally, we know other living beings are not able to recognize their thoughts and the roots of them, but we have that ability. So then we practice Dhamma to increase this ability. So you all are here, away from that hustle society, in this quiet place, living with basic things, to pay attention, to increase your awareness. Why you want to increase your awareness? To develop your mindfulness. When you develop your awareness means next step is mindfulness. Why do you want to develop mindfulness? We want to increase our concentration, sati and samadhi. Samadhi means concentration. Why do we want to gain concentration? To gain wisdom. To gain wisdom. Natti jnanam apanyasya panyānamti ajayati. There is no concentration without wisdom. No wisdom without concentration. One who has both wisdom and concentration is close to emancipation. So then first we are trying to develop our awareness. Then we will develop our mindfulness. Next step is concentration. Final goal is enlightenment or gain wisdom. Through the wisdom, we can see things as they are. When we are able to see things as they are, there's no conflict. There's no conflict. So, main purpose of our practice, now everybody will be clear. Now you can see why I am here. You have the answer with you now. Why I am here? To develop my awareness, to develop my mindfulness, to develop my concentration, to gain wisdom. So this is the meaning of practicing teachings of the Buddha. It is not mere a religion. It's a way of life. Whatever the religions that you practice, it doesn't matter. If you are willing to be happy, this is the clear path. This is the one and only path to gain happiness, establish your happiness. Real happiness, not fake happiness. We are always trying to gain happiness, applying fake methods. Then result of that fake method, definitely you have fake happiness, not real happiness, not established happiness. That's why in next moment you don't see that happiness disappearing from you. Well, it is fake. It's just imitating like happiness, but really it's not there. Therefore, our goal is to establish our happiness. Our goal is to attain eternal happiness. Eternal happiness never changes. It is universal. It is not depending on your belief system. It is completely depending on your development, not your belief system. So you all are here having that knowledge, Having that purpose with you, now we ready to start that process. So as a first thing, in these retreats, we have rules, we have regulations, we have traditions, norms, values, taboos, everything is there. So therefore, we start with precepts. Observing precepts means not you are becoming Buddhist. Observing precepts that you can give a meaning of your life, as well as particularly in this retreat, maintaining these precepts or rules, regulations, norms, values, taboos. You can focus on your practice. If there is worries, that worries are not helping for your practice. So then you want to reduce your worries. You want to be a simple person because you are focusing on something. Having that main purpose, we ask our disciples to observe precepts at the beginning. So you can maintain these precepts during this time period while you are here in Bhavana society. If someone willing to continue, yes, you can continue. If someone wants to terminate, yes, at the end of the day, you can terminate. At the end of the retreat, you can terminate. So you can go to your normal life. That's fine. But while you are here, these are kind of requirements. Requirements means these are the rules for this retreat. So then we need to observe these precepts, 8 precepts, Ashtanga Sila, page number 10. We generally go with the Pali language because translation is here on the other side. You can see, you can read your translations, but just follow the Pali, even though you don't know the meaning for now, later on, you can be able to develop your awareness and knowledge of these precepts. What does this mention? I think some of you are familiar with these precepts, so that you can read it, others can join. So we can start with that in here very clearly what are the parts that lay people do, what is the part that monks do. All these things are very clearly you can see in the pages. So you can start with that forecast, page number 10 or 12. Okay, can you start? Yamang vada bhutang vadi samma sambuddhassa. Tam saranam gacchami. Saranam gacchami. Sangham saranam gacchami. Iyampi buddham saranam gacchami. Iyampi dhammam saranam gacchami. Tiyampi sangham saranam gacchami. Tiyampi buddham saranam gacchami. Tiyampi dhammam saranam gacchami. Tiyampi sangham saranam gacchami. Saranagamam sambuddham anādipātā vedam sikkhapadam samāpiyam. Vinnādāna vedam samāpiyam. Vedam sikkhapadam. Sāvā sikkhapadam samāpiyam. Samāpiyam. Kāyabhojanam vedam sikkhapadam samāpiyam. Asvagandha vidya sanattanam vedam sikkhapadam samāpiyam. Vedam sikkhapadam samāpiyam. Bhavana sīlam samāpiyam. Saranena satim attanga sīlam dhammam samudayitvam. Sārukam surakitam kattva atthamādena sampādetam tvam. Sīlena sugatim yanti sīlena bhogasamputam. Sīlena nibbūtim yanti tasmā sīlam visodhayet. You promise to yourself not to do 8 things. I undertake the training to abstain from taking life. That's the first one. You are not promising to me. You promise to yourself. These precepts, basically introduced by the Buddha. Actually, before the Buddha, there were different kind of precepts, but particularly Attanga 8 mystic precepts introduced by the Buddha. For what? To reduce some stress. To reduce some stress. Focus on your stress level. Sometimes, perhaps a few days you were living with the stress. Perhaps you might have some experience, anxiety and depression also. Think about those days. What happened to you? What was the real cause to have stress, to gain anxiety and depression? What was the cause? Think about yourself. Your mind is not clear. Why? Your mind full of greed. Your mind was full of greed. Your mind was full of ignorance. That was the main reasons to have stress, anxiety, and depression. So now, observing these precepts, promising ourselves to clean our word and action, what we are doing, we are cleaning our inside, reducing stress. If someone, you can see these things, the result of observance of these precepts, while we are observing, see the other side. Other side means, just think about if you did any of these things. Somehow, if you kill any living being, how would be the nature of your mind? What kind of living being, it doesn't matter. Focus on reality of your mind. How would be your mind? Perhaps some people who are going to hunting and fishing, they might think, oh, hooray, I got my, I fulfill my skills and I fulfill my aims. They might be able to be happy, showing some kind of expressions, but reality is not there. They are worries. They are worries. Worry means increase in stress. When you start to be worried, then at the same time you are increasing in stress. Worry and stress, there is a relationship. When you have guilty feeling, stress is increasing. Your guilty feelings are the main roots to increase your stress. Then someone can say, oh, I don't want to have that guilty feeling myself, so I can be happy. No, you are trying to cheat yourself. That is not the reality. You have something in your mind. That is human nature. Even not human nature, all living beings in same. Just think about your dog. If he did some bad things, how is his behavior? How would be his behavior? When you're going there, when you're looking at him, he try to hide something from you. Then all living beings have that guilty feeling if they done any harmful, unnecessary things. Harmful as well as unnecessary things. They have that feeling. So we are observing these precepts to reduce our stress, to reduce our anxiety. When you are living with stress, you are not able to focus on one thing. Your mind going here and there, but that's the nature of your stress. If someone living with stress means that person is not able to focus on one thing. His mind going away. So many thoughts are arising in his mind. Different thoughts are arising in his mind. That's the nature. So, same time you have fear. Same time you have fear. I have a story regarding the next precepts are undertaking, training rule, abstaining, taking what is not given, abstaining from stealing. I have a small story. You can keep in your mind that story to understand why we should observe precepts. This story I got from my grandparents. They are not alive, but still I have that things in my mind, particularly that story as well as the meaning of that story. But that meaning came to me very late. When they were giving that story to us, sharing that story, we did not have that meaning. But that is the way how we learn Buddhism, through the stories from our grandparents. The story is, there was a farmer. There was a farmer. He had a green thumb. He does very successful things there. Whatever he's putting there, growing well and giving some fruits. So every day he goes to his field where he cultivates things. He goes to his farmland and he's looking at those harvest, the results, the fruits, and he was very happy, enjoying with those things, spending many days. He was focusing on one particular thing. One day evening, when he was going around his farm, he was focusing on one particular thing, which we call ash melon. Ash melon. So he was very happy, and then he recognized that ash melon already grew up. Better to harvest not today, tomorrow morning. Culturally, farmers have some kind of traditions. They are not harvesting things in the morning, but in the evening they like to do harvest in the morning. That kind of tradition. We don't know what is the meaning of that, but they have a kind of tradition. Taboos, they have norms, they have values. Unseen things are there. Somehow he decided, okay, I will pick it up tomorrow morning. Next day morning, when he going to his farmland, that ash melon was disappeared. No more there. He was so upset because that was his first harvest. He was very upset. Then he ran into his house and then found some bell. And he went to the place where people are gathered together. Generally, we call it town or city, where the stores are. He went. With that bell, he started to dance. Now he is dancing with that music. Yes, music is all music. Then it is kind of unusual things. People who were there for their other purposes, they were looking at him. They were gathered around him. Now he starts. When people gathered around him, he started to sing a song. The last sentences was that singing. That song was, I can recognize the thief through him looking at his shoulder. I can recognize the thief looking at his shoulder. Because ash melon does have some kind of ash. So there was a person who started to wipe his shoulder. Directly he went to that person and told, you are the person who took my ash melon. How that farmer was able to quote him? Does he have any ash here in your shoulder? No. If it was there, directly he can go and catch him. But while he was singing a song, that person was trying to wipe his shoulder. Why was there that action from that person? Because he was living with doubt. He was living with doubt. So camera might not be able to catch him Police might not be able to catch him. Court might not be able to decide. But he knows himself. You know yourself if you've done any wrong, any mistake, anything bad. Guilty feeling is there with you, that thoughts. So this is the reasons that Buddha introduced these precepts to live worryless. Why? If you are worried, definitely you are living with fear. When you have worry, fear also arising. When you have worry and fear, doubt and fear, so then there is no way to develop your awareness of mindfulness. So then how you can go to other steps? That's why Buddha introduced these precepts. Some people misunderstanding about precepts dating. If someone wants to become Buddhist, they have to observe precepts. If someone wants to live a worryless life, they have to observe precepts. If someone wants to reduce their stress and anxiety, not to be depressed, they have to observe precepts. Therefore, in this world, if someone wants to live happily, peacefully, worryless life, they have to observe precepts. That's why around this human society, we have culture. In that culture, there are categories in the culture. Law and order is one of category in your culture. In this country, we have a constitution. What is that? It is a precepts. You have law and order. What are those? Precepts. But unfortunately, those constitution, law and order, you have to follow by force. But these are voluntary. I abstaining from killing. I abstaining from stealing. Not someone asking from you. You are promising yourself. This is the difference. Therefore, all these precepts would be very helpful for you to live peacefully, happily, focusing on your main purpose of your life, particularly here in your main object, main purpose is to develop metta, along with compassion, sympathy, joy, as well as equanimity. You are here for that. So to maintain that main purpose, these precepts would be very helpful, supportive, definitely. Therefore, you are observing to see the results yourself, not to see someone else. You can see the results yourself, and you can develop the energy and effort to practice, to gain your main goal. So that is the main purpose of your observances. So now you may not able to understand any of these Pali words. It doesn't matter. Take your time and read the meaning. What are the precepts that I observe? You can be aware, you can develop your knowledge in this manner. But mainly to reduce our stress, anxiety, and live happily, peacefully, focus on our practice. That is the main purpose of these observances. So that is enough for today. My introduction talk and welcome talk. Again, on behalf of Bhavana Society, I would like to welcome you all warmly. Stay together with us. Let us pay full attention to reduce our all unwholesome thoughts as well as to increase our wholesome thoughts. Having that main purpose, let us practice. Let us connect it with our Metta. Right. So, beginning of our meditation, we would like to invite you all to join with us to chant Discourse of Loving Kindness, page number 47. One skilled in good, wishing to attain that state of peace, should have us. One should be able, straight, upright, obedient, gentle, and humble. One should be content, easy, with purity, living life, straight, upright, unattached. One should have a sight of wisdom, wise, and sweet. May all beings be happy. May all beings be happy. Whatever it is done without structure, being also low, loud, medium, short, sharp, visible or invisible, living here or our all program visible. May all beings are let no one see whether no discharge. Should be start. As a mother who is called life, take on child. Even students own beings, once we cultivate once. Once we cultivate all about you enough without great goals. There is a walking. By the power of this Spirit, may I always have a be. By the power of the Spirit, may I always have a be. By the power of the Spirit, may I always have a be. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Today, we are not giving any guidance to practice meditation. You can practice your own meditation, whatever the techniques that you know. Tomorrow morning means not early in the morning. At 9 o'clock, Bhakti will guide you to meditate. If there is any changes, the way how you are applying, the way how we are teaching here, if there is something confusing part, you can discuss with us anytime at the Q&A session in the evening. So now you can take the time, you can practice your own as much as you know. Thank you very much.